Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
Megan is Missing is a found footage horror film about a teenage girl who goes missing after talking to somebody she doesn't know online. And it's a lot. I thought I had heard of this movie before, but I wasn't quite sure. But I was asked to watch it by my fiance, who was troubled quite a lot by it, and so I told her I would watch it, and something just kept scratching at the back of my mind that I had heard of this movie before. But then after I watched it, I realized that I had seen the title in a review by a channel called Your Movie Sucks. So that should have told me a lot. When I was watching this for like the first hour, I was dying at how bad it was. Like, the writing was atrociously awful, and the acting was some of the funniest I had ever seen because of how bad it was. And I don't know if I should blame the actors for how bad they're doing, because I'm gonna assume that this movie was made with the budget of a ham sandwich, and these probably aren't actual actors, but it was still really funny. The only part I could say about the acting that seemed natural at all was when the main girl, the best friend of the girl who goes missing, when she's vlogging herself because she seems so awkward.
As you can see, I live in a pretty nice house. We live in an area called Sherman Oaks. If you're not from Los Angeles, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But there it is.
And the only reason I say that seems natural at all is because I was just as awkward when I was a teenager and tried to do vlogs. This is my dad and his girlfriend's room. They're probably gonna hate the fact that I'm recording this, but YOLO. But other than that, like, they get into arguments with these other teenage girls, and they just say stuff, and like, I don't think it was even scripted, because they just say things and none of it makes any sense. And one of the things that, when the girls are arguing, that the like, I guess, bully character just says, I guess she was in love with Megan, like the girl who goes missing and is kidnapped, which we never saw anything about before. We've never heard a single anything about this. She just says it. And I don't know if this is supposed to make us feel bad for her or give us some sort of character something, but it doesn't. It just comes out of nowhere and is never brought up again, because we never see that character again after this argument.
This is all your fault, right? You think you're hot shit because she spent every waking moment with you?
No.
Is that what you think?
I don't think that.
But she loved me. And I loved her back. I loved her so much, and now she's gone because of you. This is all your fault, and I can't fix it.
And even though this is supposed to be POV, during those arguments, she's like, I guess, supposed to be holding the camera behind her like this while they're arguing.
This is the diner. We always used to come here after school.
What are you doing? Get the camera out of my face.
I'm not recording you guys. No.
You know, it's because of you that she's not here, right?
It's not true.
What are you gonna do, sell this? Are you gonna sell this to the news?
No.
Which doesn't make any sense. She's like screaming at this girl and holding the camera behind her like that. Which, sure, I guess if you want to get a good shot, but it doesn't make any sense if your character is supposed to be holding it. And whoever wrote this, I don't know if, like, they don't know how it is that parties look like, or if I just didn't go to any actual parties when I was in high school, but there's some parties there's one party in this movie that's kind of like almost like the inciting incident for a lot of this, and it is some of the most batshit crazy stuff I've ever seen when it comes to like these teenagers. Throughout the film, there is also like these little intersects of news coverage about Megan going missing. And at one point, I almost died because they're like talking about this missing persons case, and then the newscaster just randomly is like, up next we'll show you some puppies or something. Like, they just completely disregard what's happening. And I don't know if that was the director's plan to like make commentary on the news, but it was just so funny and out of left field and didn't make any sense, and I loved it so much. It made me happy how bad it was. Just little things like that, like the news and the bully talking about how she was in love with Megan, plus just some of the random shit that these, like, Megan and her friend, who we like go through the movie with, that they just say to each other. It's like, is this supposed to be comedic in any way? Like, am I supposed to be laughing at this, or is it just so incompetently written that it just shows that they have no idea what they're doing, which makes it so funny? But not only was it incompetently written, but I guess the editors just also didn't know what they were doing, because there's one scene in particular where Megan is talking to the guy who she thinks is another teenage boy, and they're talking about how they're gonna like meet up. But then when she gets up, like, they say goodbye, and he says that like his webcam is broken, so we never see him. But she gets up after saying goodbye to him from the webcam, gets ready in the mirror, and we see all of this, gets ready in the mirror, and then walks out the door. And then we're just looking at her empty room with nothing. Like, there's nothing there. There's nothing happening. There's no sound or talking or dialogue or anything from the boy she was just talking to. We're just looking at the empty room for like 30 seconds. And I was expecting like somebody to come out of her closet, climb in through her window, get out from under her bed, something. But no, it's just an empty room that they just didn't cut out for some reason. I guess maybe it could be like he was just watching, but it really just kind of came across as if the editors just didn't trim this footage. So we're just looking at this teenage girl's doorway in her bedroom. Through all of that, though, I was laughing at the bad writing, the bad acting, the bad filmmaking in general. And I didn't understand what the problem was. I thought it was just a bad movie. But then it hit the hour mark. And the last about 20-25 minutes made me sick. With about 20-25 minutes left, the main girl, the best friend, Amy, she also gets kidnapped because she's looking for Megan. And we cut to footage of just this dungeon. It is like this underground, dingy, dark, damp, dirty dungeon. And it gets so fucked up so fast. It almost gave me whiplash. And we see things that I love horror movies, right? This was too far for me. I'm just gonna tell you what happens. And I don't care about spoiling this for you, because you just shouldn't watch it. Like, under no circumstances should this be watched by anyone. And I do want to give a trigger warning for this, because while movies get fucked up, I'm going to be talking about some stuff that happens in this that even made me uncomfortable. I've seen movies where a bunch of screwed up stuff happens, right? And it never really bothers me. I've watched movies like Last House on the Left, I Spit on Your Grave, and those are rape revenge fantasy movies. And they're messed up, but it is what it is. But in this, we see this guy rape a young teenage girl. And no, like, when he puts the camera on this table and it is pointing at her face, and we know exactly what is happening. And he has blood on his. It's so I have never felt in my stomach. I have never felt my stomach drop with a movie as much as that. Because this is not what I want to watch a movie for. And during that, like, I guess I have to give it to that young actress, because you see her character's life just like drain from her eyes as this is happening. And that just made me feel so many different levels of gross that I never want to experience again. And then afterwards, like, he's treating them as if they were literal animals, and then tells Amy that he will let her go. And she's, thanking him and crying, and he brings her to a barrel because, he doesn't want her to see where she is. And he opens it, and Megan's rotten, decrepit, mummified corpse is in the barrel. Just another teenage girl. And it is, like, it was so gross. And then the last almost 10 minutes is this guy digging a hole with Amy in a barrel with dead Megan, begging and pleading and crying for him to stop. And that's all the last 10 minutes is. Just him digging a hole while this young girl is screaming for him to stop. And, like, telling him that she loves him and that she'll do whatever he wants. And it goes on so long, unbroken. And I'm almost convinced that the director didn't give this girl a script. He was like, just beg. And they just went, because it's unbroken. There's one cut, and it's right before the movie ends. So it's almost 10 minutes of just him digging and her pleading. And it went on for so long. Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be feeling. It just made me feel gross. And I almost have no words for how it made me feel. Like, I just can't put it into words how much this disgusted me. I hated it. I hated every second of that final act. And like I said, it came out of nowhere. The first hour was so bad that it was funny. But then this happens. So, no. This is not a movie that anybody should watch. This is not a movie for your friends to gather around and view for Halloween. This should be watched by no one. I'm going to give Megan is Missing a... Yeah, hello?
Brandon!
What? I'm filming in here.
What are you filming?
A review for Megan is Missing?
Oh, no.
What? No, you can't.
No, it's
No.
my turn. No. Hi, I'm Erica. I'm Brandon's fiance. This movie, it doesn't deserve a grade. It doesn't get a grade. This movie is trash. Literal trash. This movie was not made for anybody. Like, I cannot wrap my head around who the specific target audience for this movie is. And watching this movie, I watched it on... Don't look for it. Just don't. And in the comments, there are parents commenting, my child should see this. My child deserves to see this, to know what happens if you talk to men online. No. They should show this in schools. No. This isn't made for anybody. This isn't entertaining. This movie was made to punish people. Like, you don't watch this movie and be like, oh, haha, it's so bad. Like, it's so good. Like, oh my God, that was crazy. I love true crime. Don't get me wrong. But this movie was made to make you feel sick inside. And not in a good way. Not in a Human Centipede way. Not in a Saw way. It just makes you feel disgusted and dirty. It doesn't deserve a grade. It deserves a big ol' X. Don't watch it. It doesn't deserve an F. It deserves to cease to exist. This movie is not good. Do not watch it. And that is my review.
Can I come back to my video now?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thanks so much.
Goodbye.
So that was Erica. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like she said, this movie is not entertainment. This is almost like a fetish thing. Or as if somebody made this to punish their kid for talking to somebody online. Don't watch it. It's fucked up and it's gross and not a good disturbing. She put it almost better than I could. So, yeah, fuck this movie. So, that's gonna be it from me. I hope you guys have had a safe and happy Halloween. Have you seen Megan is Missing? And if you have, I am so sorry. If you haven't, don't. What are some of your favorite movies to watch on or around Halloween? Whatever they are, put them down in the comments. Don't forget to check out my social media. The links to all of that will be down in the description. But before you go there, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe so that I can see you guys next time.